Hello, welcome back. In our last classes, we have been discussing logical functions, and in this class, I want us to discuss lookup functions. Lookup functions of Excel are very powerful, especially when you have databases for your employees, let's say, and looking for some other part, it will be very helpful. So just to introduce, we are in these classes, in our upcoming lectures, we are going to discuss 4 main lookup functions, but lookup functions are not limited to this. These are the mainly used, and if you get touch of this, learning other lookup functions will be easier for you, especially for Office 2016 and Office 2019 and below. But for Office 360, we have some other additional lookups like Excel Lookup, which we are not having in these versions of Excel. So just to introduce, we have 4 main lookup functions commonly used. So I want us to know what VLOOKUP does. VLOOKUP, this function look up for a value in a column and return the result for a cell in the row where match is found. So what does that mean? Let's say we have an employee ID. We are given an employee ID of our employees database, and we want to get the salary of that person. So what VLOOKUP does is it will check for this employee ID in this range of data, and then it returns the value in the column as identified. So for example, if we have this as first column, second column, third column, fourth and fifth, it will check for the salary in the fifth column. That is what VLOOKUP does. For HLOOKUP, it is just like VLOOKUP, but headers are no longer in the columns, but the headers will be in the rows. Okay, so it is like this data is transposed to the other ranges. So this function look up for a value in a row and returns the result from a cell in the column where the match is found. Let's say we are looking for the salary of this first employee. It will first look up for this value and returns in this column where the match is found. Match function, match returns the position of an item in terms of a row number within a range. So it is not very helpful when you are just using match, but let's say in this list of employees, where do Brenda, Mary is? So it returns the fifth because Brenda is at the fifth in this range. Index function returns an item given the position. So let's say if you still have 5 who is at position 5, then index will help you to get Brenda, Mary in this list. If you join, what we have to note that lookup functions, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP cannot look to the left. It always reads from left to the right. HLOOKUP reads from up to down. But the power of match and index being joined, they will help us to look from right to the left and from below to upward. Those are powerful when we join index and match. So in our next class, we are going to learn practically how VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP works. Thank you for joining and enjoy learning.